Question: how do we deal with impossible problems? The very nature of human existence is to be surrounded by challenges and problems unique to ourselves. And as a seed, we germinate through all of this challenge to go beyond all of the karmic challenges, to blossom above as a lotus. There is the story of Arjuna, the warrior. He was one of the 5 brothers, the Pandavas, the good guys. The Pandavas were in exile. And they knew that the moment the exile was over, they faced an impossible challenge. And that was, they had 100 evil cousins. And the Pandavas knew that they needed to find that power from within. So Arjuna decides to go and meditate on Lord Shiva and seek the gift and the blessings of higher consciousness. So Arjuna goes deeper into the forest and makes himself a lingam. A lingam is the representation of infinity in the finite. And Arjuna then steps into tapas. Tapas is holding that singular thought over an extended period of time, utilizing the mantras and generating that inner sacred fires through which the invoked is summoned. So Arjuna sat in this tapas, the penance, over a long stretch of time. Lord Shiva decided to test Arjuna to see if Arjuna was ready to receive these blessings. So Lord Shiva appears as a forest chieftain, as a tribe member, and provokes Arjuna into a fight. Now, Lord Shiva pushed Arjuna through an ego battle, and Arjuna decides to go for it, and he starts fighting with Lord Shiva, not knowing that that tribesman was Lord Shiva himself. And Arjuna prided himself in being the most formidable warrior, and he was shocked that whatever he did, he was losing. And finally Arjuna takes flowers and runs to his Shivalingam and says, Lord Shiva, where are you? And keeps placing the flowers on the lingam. And then he looks up and he sees that the flowers he has offered on the lingam was on the tribeman's forehead. That's when Arjuna realized that he was actually fighting Lord Shiva, and he falls at his feet, falls at Lord Shiva's feet, saying, please forgive me. And Lord Shiva accepts his apology and gives him the higher conscious states that was weapons to be utilized against darkness. We all go through our life struggles. And through these problems that seems impossible, the first is knowing that we are given these problems so we can germinate ourselves into a greater being, much like a larva becoming a butterfly. And to know this means to pray for timeless patience. Know that every time we are given these impossible challenges, we are incubating the greater self of ours. So whenever we have a problem, know that we have no other place but to go within first and let go of that problem to Source, God, Infinity, Absolute, God in all the names, God with no name, Source. Go within and step into timelessness by offering that which is a burden to us. And in this process, attain the core of harmony. It is from this core of harmony that we are able to generate a pristine mind that is able to comprehend the situation for what it is. The world itself is like a rope that looks like a snake's to a mind that is perturbed. So, when we go within to set alight that sacred connect between ourselves and Source, between our limited beingness and the unlimited Supreme, we are now in the vortex light that begins to vibrate from what we intend. As we go deeper within to vibrate in the light of Source unions, with that intent, we also are now enhancing the pristine nature of our mind to see beyond the box of limits. We are also enabling a higher vibrancy to unfold as the reality desired. The power of tapas is resilience, knowing that we bounce back 1,000,000 times, knowing that however that impossible situation is, when we are in a timeless patience, we are able to define time, unfold that reality. The power within is an intensified prayer. So, in our daily, every moment reality, if in our subconscious mind we are constantly in Source unions, we are generating that innermost fires that is much like the inner sun, that now is vibrating to align and realign our external realities. As we step into Source unions, we are beginning to being the spirit having the human experience. And in the wisdom of being the spirit, beyond the karmic imprints and beyond the limits of the mind, we are now able to conceive, know, from the highest potential of our mind. The impossible comes in different forms to us as challenges. And within ourselves is the constancy of the sacred fires that we intensify with more of challenges, the more of the vibrancies we create. During the time of exile, political exile of Mahatma Gandhi, when India was under colonial rule, for 15 years or more, it seemed impossible for India to attain independence or freedom from the British. But every day, Mahatma Gandhi in his ashram at Sabarmati would hold prayer meetings where all folks of all religion were invited to chant and sing God in all the names. Mahatma Gandhiji would mention the more of God, the merrier. And this was at night and during the morning time, the prayer meetings. This was an intensified prayer. And in this intensified prayer was the blessings of timeless patience, with the knowing that India would attain its freedom. Eventually, India did attain its freedom in the most peaceful way. Likewise, within us is the problems that presses us. To deal with these problems is also allowing ourselves to climb up above in consciousness. As we climb up above in consciousness by way of meditation and by tapas, which is the intense form of meditation, we are able to unfold the realities that we intend from inside out. So know that nothing is impossible when we are the power from within, when our light is shining, when we have stepped into timelessness, and from this timelessness we define time, and from this inner sacred fires we unfold the realities desired of our heart. In the grandness of the sacred fires, expand consciousness at all times, in all breath. Let our breath be source connected. Utilize the mantra to dissolve the mind into source unions, and whatever the realities are that we face, at happy times, sad times, times of anxiety, times of inspiration, allow the innermost fire to simply be nourished by the constancy of ourselves being source connected. In this vortex, nothing is impossible. We are the power of resilience. We have no fear since we know. We are the many as one as we step up above as the spirit having the human experience. Our mind has become powerful due to the singularity of thought that empowers us to be able to think beyond the limits of our mind. And we dissolve away our karmic limits by stepping up above as a spirit, having the human experience to define our destiny. And in the wisdom of being, uplift ourselves and all of humanity. Om Namah Shivaya.